moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to Youth Wednesdays and Tobago Updates morning show. You're viewing us live here in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. And of course, we are here to share the youthful vibe on Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates morning show. You know, it's a beautiful Wednesday morning, and I want to send a special good morning to all our ardent viewers, especially good morning to Biana and Renwick Job. Good morning to you and all of other viewing or viewers on the varying platforms on which you're viewing us from, which might be Facebook, YouTube, Channel 102 on Amplia and others. Good morning and welcome. My name is Dwayne, you're one of your favorite youth hosts, and I'm also joined with
Natalia Nantes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Dwayne here to join in the vibe and the vigor for the rest of the week. Dwayne, I am also one of their favorite youth hosts. I'm happy to be hosting here with you this morning.
Hence the reason I said one of, because we are many. We have a plethora of us here.
That is correct.
Who might be everyone's favorite. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, of course. What has been happening in the space besides the oil spill, of course?
Well, besides the oil spill, there is move off from the oil spill. There is Scarborough Secondary, and Lambo and Nican opening back today. I think a lot of people were complaining and they were finding issues with the children being home for so long. Mm-hmm. Today they get to go back out in their numbers and go back to face-to-face learning.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. And for me, I don't know about you, but I used to love school. I remember getting the slightest headache and my parents telling me to stay home. I would cry. So I would cry to go to school. I used to cry to go to school. So I hope that is this sentiment of those students who have been home for albeit a short time. And you know, kudos to the school opening back. For whatever reason it was closed. Crime is in this space. It's a very pertinent topic. Still ongoing in Tobago as we see crime on the rise here, and it's always a shocker for me because I don't want to say that we are losing our very essence as Tobagonians, but my hope is that the various entities and the TTPS and even us here play our part in eradicating crime, because crime is not just a police issue, it's not a national security issue, it's a national issue, even at the very grassroots, at the homes.
That is correct. We also have, as citizens, a responsibility to help to curb the crime issue. You know, you see it, you report it.
Yes.
It's that simple.
Yes, and finally, you know, I believe crime begins in the simplest of ways.
That's correct.
Simply throwing a litter on the ground is a deviant behavior which can lead to crime. That is a proven
I know
fact.
you have a problem with that, and
yes.
It is, to be quite honest.
Yes. However, guys, there are a lot more news for you. We're going to go over to news in 9 seconds with Natalia Nantes.
Thank you, Dwayne. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, 20th February 2024. The Water and Sewage Authority of Trinidad and Tobago collaborated with the Tobago House of Assembly to construct water boosters in Highland and Pine Hill, Moriah. Tobago East MP Ayanna Webster Roy expressed satisfaction at the commissioning. She emphasized the importance of the booster stations in communities, especially for women managing households and farmers. Meanwhile, Minister of Public Utilities Marvin Gonzalez and Tobago West MP Shamfa Kojo Lewis will commission the Bad Hill Development Program at the Bad Hill Tank, Plymouth Road today. The Division of Education, Research and Technology announced that both Lambo Anglican Primary and Scarborough Secondary Schools will reopen today. This after the Environmental Management Authority, along with the Institute of Marine Affairs, conducted air quality testing with a focus on ensuring that the schools not only meet but surpass recommended safety standards. Utilizing automated air monitoring at Shore Park, the O3 ozone reading on Monday was 29, indicating a safe environment for outdoor activities surpassing average standards. The Ministry of Health the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries has completed the initial hydrographic survey of the wreckage of the Cove Eco Industrial Park, Tobago. Since February 7th, the overturned barge Gulfstream has been stuck on a reef, leaking bunker fuel, polluting 15 kilometers Tobago's coastline between Scarborough and Canoe Bay. This pollution has also reached waters Grenada and Bonaire. The survey collected data to create a three-dimensional map and identify hazards to determine a way forward in moving the wreck. Additionally, the deployment of the NOFI Current Buster technology, a high-speed oil containment system, is set to begin. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
All right, and we're going to go over to birthdays this morning. I have quite a few birthdays this morning. And first and foremost, we have birthday greetings going out to Miss
Valda Winchester Edwards Dwayne.
Thank you very
Happy
much.
birthday to her, and I do hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. This coming from your loving husband, Andre, and the rest of the family.
All right. And who do we have next? We have Mr. Adrian Jacob. A happy birthday goes out to you from the Tobago Updates family. And next, who do we have next?
Mr. Darren Guy, happy birthday to you and God's blessings.
All right. Next, we have Miss Darcel Hector. Good morning. Birthday goes out to you from the Tobago Updates family and from us here at Youth Wednesdays. And finally,
Miss Sharon Mills, happy birthday from Julian and family, and of course the Tobago Updates team. Continued blessings to you.
and I think I should have said penultimately, because I want to especially again wish our host here on Tobago Updates, Katie Lewis, happy birthday, belated birthday. I did send her my greetings yesterday. I tried to call her, but I guess she was busy enjoying the day. My sentiments remain the same, and I pray that God continue to bless you and that you keep sweet. Enjoy your day, and save a piece of cake for us here at Tobago Updates.
Yes, please, Kaylee. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, oh yes. And we want to go over to the rundown this morning. Would you like to do us the honors of reading the rundown for us this morning, Miss Nancy?
That is not a problem, Dwayne.
All right. So this morning we have coming on this morning to discuss an evening of prayer and praise, none other than the Senator Honorable Mr. Lawrence Hislop. And next we have Miss Adana Combi coming to discuss a public speaking workshop seminar. That is it for our rundown this morning. I hope you join us, and remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Inner Health, number 13B, Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience, offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Yo everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Builders General Hardware, located right here in Storby, Local Road, Tobago. That's correct, right here in Tobago. And we are offering you guys the best prices on all hardware material. And if you would like to get your free quotation done All you have to do is WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will give you guys the best prices on all hardware material. That is a guarantee as we are matching or beating any quotations.
Your destiny. The best way to predict it is to create it. Do you see yourself exploring exotic destinations or spending quality time with family? However you see yourself, create your own retirement destiny with Tata Life's Destiny Personal Savings Booster. Choose from one of 3 investment options with guaranteed minimum investment returns to secure a monthly retirement income for life, with the option to choose your retirement age. So what's your retirement destiny? Call 62-TATTLE or visit tattle.co.tt to learn more today. Conditions apply. Tattle Life, a member of the Answer McCall Group.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. This morning with us, we start off our interviews with none other than Senator Lawrence Hislop, here to speak to us about an evening of prayer and praise, Dwayne. Yes, so we'd like to welcome Mr. Senator Lawrence Hislop to the show this morning.
Morning, guys. How you all doing? It's good to be on Youth Wednesdays.
Yes, good
Yeah.
morning. Good morning.
Nice to have you here, Senator Lawrence.
Yeah, good
What
to be here.
inspired the evening of prayer and praise?
What inspired it? It had to be God. It had to be the Holy Spirit. I said to a friend of mine that I have always been taught, and I think I shared it on my page as well. I've always been taught from a young age that there's power in both elements coming together, in both elements of prayer and praise coming together. And we recognize that the island and the country we are facing challenges. Even persons in their own personal lives are facing challenges. And it gives us an opportunity to recognize who is supreme in everything that we do and who's supreme in our lives. This is not about religion or anything like that, but this is about recognizing that there is a supreme being, that God is paramount in our lives, no matter what we are involved in, no matter what we do. And sometimes it just takes a moment of praise and it takes a moment of prayer for there to be some peace in your life, and for an answer to come. And we are, whether we like it or not, we are a very religious community. We're a very religious society, and so we ought not to forget who we are. We are not to forget who God is in our lives, and so this was an opportunity for us to do that.
All right. I think sometimes we often forget that it only takes a prayer. You know, we get caught up in our human capabilities and we forget that, you know, it just takes a prayer and some praise to get forward.
Yeah.
Give us some details, Senator Hislop. Where will this be taking place? Who do I speak to about going there? Can we look forward to hearing from you? Because we know you have a wonderful voice as well.
So this event takes place on Sunday, this coming Sunday, the 3rd of March, at the Elizabeth Dennis, or previously known the Mason Hall Recreation Ground, from 4 p.m. till. We've incorporated all of the churches within the Mason Hall Moriah district, and we are having specific prayer focus areas that each church would be focused on. So the idea behind it is that when the particular congregation comes to do its prayer focus, it will also do a praise focus as well. So whether it be a song, whether it be spoken word, whether it be dance, however the congregation chooses to express their praise to God, they will do that, and then the representative from the church will pray on the prayer focus area that was shared with them. It is open to everybody. You could come and just be a part of the experience, just be part of the fellowship, and so it's a moment to recognize God. It's a moment to acknowledge God and to give God praise and to ask Him for His guidance and for His direction and for His healing on the nation, because we know we're struggling with crime, we're struggling with the persons who are struggling with unemployment, the persons who are struggling with even with just everyday living, and so it requires, sometimes it just helps to stop for a moment and recognize that God is still supreme and that He deserves our praise. Because even though we may be struggling on a daily basis, there's life. There's life, and every moment we get up, every morning we get up, and we can open our eyes and breathe God's breath, and we are in our right minds, then we ought to give Him praise and thanks for that.
Certainly. And I don't know if you feel comfortable saying, but I know that you're a Seventh-day Adventist, Brother Hislop, and I could call you Brother Hislop if that is okay with you.
Yes.
Yeah. I was talking with somebody last night, and I was sharing with them that, through our most ardent times, it requires us to give praise. Are you willing to share any such notable moment in your life where it was, albeit difficult in this specific moment, that you praise, and what was that like? What was the benefit of that, especially in relation to what we're discussing now?
So what I could say is that I have had moments of depression. I've had moments of feeling alone, feeling empty, and all it took was a song. All it took was, sometimes you go to church, or even not at church. Sometimes it takes an old hymn. One of my favorite hymns is "How Great Thou Art," and you recognize in the words, in the lyrics of that hymn, that God is indeed great, and no matter how down you may be feeling, how empty you may be feeling, a song lifts your spirit. Sometimes, and we talk about prayer, and we feel that prayer has to always have this formal structure. But sometimes all a prayer is just, "Oh God, help me."
And even your tears.
A prayer is, a prayer is, "God, I don't know what to do." A prayer is, "God, I need you." That's a prayer, because it is the opportunity for us to have a conversation with God. It's an opportunity for us to still speak to God. So it's an opportunity for us to acknowledge Him, and to ask Him. And sometimes it's not even about asking. Sometimes we ask God too much instead of thanking Him for all that He has done for us. Because if you look at your life and you consider where you were, and where you are today, and even in a difficult situation, even in a trial, even in persecution, you ought to say, "God, thanks," because the trial and the persecution could be Him just saying, I need to strengthen you a little more.
Yes.
I need to mold you a little more for what is to come.
Yes.
And so we ought to develop an attitude of praise in spite of. We ought to.
Yes.
I remember last week I posted something that I will not complain, because you have to thank God in spite of. Because the reality is that we could complain. We could find a whole heap of things to complain about.
Yes.
but we ought to just take the time on a regular basis to thank God for what He's done.
Yes, certainly. And
Yeah.
and my next question is, are there any special guests, singers, that besides your good self, who would be gracing the presence of that event on Sunday?
Yeah, we're going to have interspersed between the various denominations doing their segments. We're going to have interspersed within that gospel ministers from Tobago. We also looking to have a couple of surprise gospel ministers at the end of coming to the end of the program. And so yeah, we're gonna have a wonderful time on Sunday. I feel it in my bones when it comes to giving praise that even though you may go through your challenges in planning an event like this, God has the way of just showing up at the right time so that everything falls into place. And so we're gonna have a couple popular gospel ministers at the end, and in between we're gonna have our and in between we're gonna have our Tobago, some of our Tobago homegrown gospel ministers in between. Yeah.
Yes. I just hoping for Samuel Meadows, just saying. Just saying.
Well, let's see what happens to it. Let's see what happens to it. But I must say that we're gonna have two worship teams as well, who are going to just take us to a place of worship. We're gonna even have a segment of the word being brought to us in terms of the power of the combination of prayer and praise. And so it's gonna be a wonderful evening. It's gonna be an evening where we give to God all that He deserves, and we recognize who He is in our lives, and ask Him to do something magnificent for our island and for our country.
You mentioned that the event is open to the public. Is it free, or do we have to pay to come in?
No. It's a free event. You come, you just bring yourself and your desire to praise God. Just come with that, and we are going to be blessed, and we're going to have a blessing.
Thank you.
So
Senator
it's
Hislop,
free,
for being
it's
with
open.
us. Go ahead.
No problem.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's free, it's open. So see you on Sunday. Sunday coming 4 p.m. Let's come out in our numbers and thank God and give God the praise. He deserves it all.
Thank you so much, Senator Hislop, for being with us this morning and telling us about the evening of prayer and praise. We do look forward to being there. Dwayne loves to dress up. He loves to sing as well. So if he wants to take part, he'll just contact you or anyone else, right? That information can be found on the Tobago Updates page as well. We will continue on this morning with Miss Adana Comby, who will be telling us about a public speaking event. So as we continue on, we encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
your boy Harry here from Authentic Car Clinic, located right here in Tobago at Storby Local Road. You can WhatsApp us or call us at 366-4173.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays and Tobago Updates Morning Show. My name is Dwayne Nurse for those who are just joining us. We want to continue the conversation about public speaking, a public speaking workshop. And we have none other, certainly no stranger to us, Miss Adana Kombi. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me this morning, for inviting me.
Come on, you're flattering me, man. You're a host here.
I feel flattered. It's an honor to be on this side of the interviewing desk.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, I would not know.
Your time will come, don't worry.
Well, yes. But good morning and welcome.
Thank you.
It's my first time meeting you in person.
Wow.
Albeit we work in the same station.
Colleagues, that's right.
And that just goes to show how extensive Tobago Updates is.
That's right.
You know, so it's a pleasure.
That's right.
So just tell us about yourself, for those who might not know.
Well, for those of you who do not know who I am Adana Kambi, as I mentioned before, and I have almost 14 years as a communications practitioner. I graduated from the London Metropolitan University with my master's in mass communications, and I have been coaching and teaching and assisting clients from 2010 all the way up to now, helping them to improve their communication skills. In 2010 or 11, I think, I assisted the Miss World TNT from our Tobago representative. And when she participated in the event, she came in as runner-up, which meant if the person who won could not represent Trinidad and Tobago, my client and candidate would have been representing our nation on an international stage. So it goes to show, I know a little bit about what I'm talking about.
Quite modest, of course.
Of course.
But it just goes to show your experience and your wealth of knowledge as it pertains to communication and even how it's multifaceted. Because who would dare link communication or think that communication might be important to something like a beauty pageant?
Trust me, it is.
So it's ubiquitous, it's important. But what are the core elements of communication?
Right, you see, people think that communication is just sending a message and receiving it via verbal channels. But it's so, as you said, it's multifaceted. Communication is actually the core of our existence. We cannot exist outside of communication. Everything we do is some form of communication. The way we dress, the way we smell, the way we walk, the way we speak, our body language, our tone, our intonation, even my gestures right now. All this is communicating that I am comfortable in this position and I'm exuding confidence. So it isn't just about what you say or how you say it, but who you are and how you present yourself. All of it is encapsulated in what good communication is.
And this upcoming online workshop is online, guys, by the way. Why do you see it fitting to have this workshop?
Right, so this workshop is the second cycle in this particular one, which is called Frequently Misused Words and Phrases. I'm certain, especially with the advent of social media, where people have a platform where they can sit behind their devices and nobody sees them. You hear phrases and words that are, oh my goodness, it's kind of cringy.
Just give us about 3.
I can give you one, a very, very famous and popular one. Or I can give you 2, a couple. A pleasant good morning. So it's either pleasant morning or good morning. So saying a pleasant good morning, that's just a big no-no. And we also, a lot of people, especially when they're on public platforms giving presentations, you would hear them say, you would have heard me say. No, that's, you would hear me say, or you might have heard me say. Don't say you would have. Would have means that it didn't happen.
Right.
It was to have happened, but it did not happen. Right. So we just throw in extra words to sound important or to sound as if we have plenty content, when in truth and in fact we're really changing the meaning of the words. And this is why the workshop says frequently misused words what they actually mean and how to use them correctly. So we're going to change around the way we speak to actually get the correct meaning of what we're trying to say. Because there's so many words, so many phrases that we use and abuse and misuse, and we change the meaning of what we're trying to say, especially to the trained ear. And my ear, I pick up a lot of things very, very easily. So it really is to position you in a place where you feel a little bit more confident in what you're saying. And of course, having the right tools, the right communication tools gives you that, as I said to you earlier, I'm sitting here with confidence because I have the training, I have the skills, and I know how to express myself in a space. When I walk into a space, you can read it and know how to command your space better.
All right. And for those who might be so challenged, especially where the confidence aspect of it is concerned, how do you link confidence to having communication as an arsenal?
You see, the thing is, right, when you don't know something, then you don't have the confidence about it. You can't speak on a topic that you have no knowledge about. So if you are equipped with the skills, if you are equipped with the tools that you need to become confident, then you are able to, because in any area, at work, in school, even in social engagements, if you don't have confidence, nobody knows what you're thinking, nobody knows your ideas, nobody knows your thoughts. And so you miss opportunities at work for promotion, you miss opportunities with somebody you're trying to chat up because you just don't have the confidence. So developing effective communication skills will build your confidence, and it will position you in a place to embrace your opportunities and to move up in what is a social ladder, or whether at work or wherever that might be.
So about this workshop, who are your target audience? Just tell us about that.
Right, for this specific one, you would see on the flyer, it says for leaders. However, it really is open to the person who identifies, listen, I want to be a leader, or I want to command a space, or I want to have influence in whichever area I am in. And I realize that there are some shortfalls, some shortcomings in the way I present myself, the way I speak, or sometimes if you can identify that something just doesn't sound right, you're writing whether it's a thesis or whatever, and you're realizing that this just does not flow properly, something is wrong with this, and you just want to explore and expand and to become better at what you do, where you are, and where you position yourself, then this is for you. As you mentioned, it is an online workshop, and the thing about it is that, I don't know if you know, but we have an extra day this year. We have 86,400 extra seconds in this year because it's a leap year, and that is tomorrow. So it's a perfect investment. We didn't have this day last year or the year before. We're not going to have it next year. So it's a perfect investment, I think, for someone to buy into something that will give you some level of improvement, that will take you someplace. Because, I mean, we invest in
gadgets and
all sorts of stuff that really, they have the potential to improve our skills. They have the potential to propel us, but we don't use them accurately. And this is a workshop that will help to guide you. And some of the things that would be exposed in this workshop, you might be like, you'll be clutching your pearls and thinking, I did not know that I was saying this incorrectly. I did not know that this is what that meant. Oh my goodness, I've heard this before, but I never really understood what it meant. And the workshop is very engaging. It is not me speaking to the audience. It is not me speaking to the participants. It is a conversation. Okay. They will learn things like parts of speech. Some people don't know how many parts of speech we have. They don't know what a parts of speech is and what does it mean. So all those things are going to be exposed in a fun and engaging way. And you can ask some of my previous clients who participated in the first workshop of this kind. It really is engaging.
Certainly, and it was a pleasure to have you here. But the final thing before we wrap up, I want you to highlight, what is the cost attached to this thing? I'm seeing $200. Is it US? Is it, I don't know.
Right, so this is $200 TT to attend this event. It begins from 6 p.m. on Thursday, 29th of February, which is tomorrow actually, from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It's an online workshop. It's only $200 TT. All you need to walk with is an open mind, a notepad to take notes, and just come be prepared to participate and to be interactive with all the other participants. We'll be doing scenario role play. I'm just throwing out situations and asking you to respond to them after we've gone through a certain part of the coursework and stuff like that. And you can contact me via WhatsApp or phone call on 797-9797. Also, the information is on my Facebook page, Adana N. Combi. Also, my business page, ANC Communications, on Facebook as well. All the information is there, and the link to register is also there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having us. Certainly doing a great job in Tobago space. Thank you again and continue to do your good work. Guys, this brings us to the end of this part of the interview this morning. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Hey, hello guys, welcome. Come have a seat.
Oh, this is so stylish and I love the fabric. Darlings, you must tell us where you got your new furnishings.
We got them locally at Standard. They've got new chic European furniture, crafted from high quality material.
Oh, Standard?
No, it's Standard, their brand new Hive collection.
Experience luxurious European furniture at a price you will love. The Hive Collection, now exclusively available at Standard.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning, morning.
And we are back on Tobago Updates Youth Wednesdays. We continue on with a very versed individual in her field. We welcome with us this morning Dr. Renee Alfred. Hi. Good morning to you. She is no stranger here to Tobago Updates. She is normally here to tell us about flu season, etc., etc. Kind of a Tobago Updates Youth Wednesdays doctor, you know. I'm claiming her. Yes, she is a doctor of pediatrics, a pediatrician, and she'll be here to speak to us about some of the challenges or the adverse effects of the Sahara dust on children mainly, but both children and adults, because they may be facing the same things. Yeah, so what are some of the challenges that adults and children likewise would face during the Sahara dust period?
Okay, so good morning. Thank you so much for having me. So first of all, the adult and the child that would be most likely affected by Sahara dust are those that fall under the umbrella of atopy. Atopy or atopic patients usually are those that have had allergic rhinitis or have allergic rhinitis, so the itchy nose on mornings, the scratchy eyes, allergic conjunctivitis. Those children that may have been born premature and had to be in the NICU and had to be on the ventilator or the breathing machine. So you would have some lung damage there. Those persons, so in the case of adults, it would be those persons who may be smokers or those persons who have obstructive airway disease and adults that have asthma. So those children and adults who are very hypersensitive, they may have eczema as well. Those are the ones who would be most at risk of developing adverse symptoms to Saharan dust, right? Because me and you may walk through the streets if we are not atopic and not be affected, but someone who is atopic would be greatly affected. The challenges they would face is issues with their breathing or their respiratory passages. So runny nose, itchy nose, runny eyes, very congested sinuses to the point where they could even have headaches, very severe. Some persons may even be dizzy. There are reports of persons having increased number of nosebleeds. So those children or adults who are prone to nosebleeds can have an increased amount of nosebleeds. And just being very miserable, because you can imagine you can't breathe, you're not feeling as though you're getting enough air in, how that can affect you. Also rashes. Children that have eczema or adults who have severe eczema would find that they have flares at this time because those dust particles, once they are a certain size, can travel all the way into your nasal passages and your lungs. And all those cells that line your nasal passage and your lungs that are there to fight viruses and infection get sensitized, and they start overworking. So they start producing so much more mucus, so much more fluid, and just making, the patients very miserable and uncomfortable and ill.
All right, so I know you spoke to children specifically, but when you mentioned the sinusitis especially, I cannot imagine what they'll be feeling because, they're still growing, they're still developing. Their immune system is now, getting used to the harsh environments that we actually live in. Sinusitis has been, I was not a child not so long ago, but it was painful for me, right? So I can't imagine what it's like for the children growing up now. Okay, as you mentioned, we face a lot of adverse effects due to the Sahara dust. So what treatments do we look at home? I know sinusitis doesn't necessarily lead to the hospital visit, but what can we do at home and at the hospital for those with the more severe effects?
Okay, so first off, for children and adults, you need to keep your eye on the weather reports, and you need to keep your eye on when the particle index is very high. And that just has to be part of your daily routine, just like you would check the weather, because you really have to be ready for what you're going to face when you get outside. In the case of children, we would say on the days when the Saharan dust is really bad, we'd want to avoid too much strenuous activity outside. Easier said than done, because of course children will enjoy themselves and frolic, but if there are activities that are carded for that day, that they're going to be taking deeper breaths, they're going to be working themselves up, you're creating a recipe for a child to wheeze. So you would want to avoid strenuous activity on those days, adults and children. Persons can even wear masks on those days, so to cover your nose and your mouth, and just to try to keep the amount of inhaled sand particles or dust particles down to a minimum, right? The next thing is that if you are asthmatic, or you know yourself to have wheezed before, this is a good time to check to ensure that your Ventolin spacer and inhaler is up to date, it's not expired, and that you have enough of the medication in your chamber. It would be a good idea to revisit your spacer and inhaler technique to ensure that you get the proper delivery of the medication into your lungs. The next thing we use, antihistamines. So you have drowsy antihistamines, which are diphenhydramine and chlorpheniramine, which Pyritril, and you have the non-drowsy ones, which is loratadine, cetirizine, so that's Zyrtec and Allegra. You want to use those as necessary. These just treat the symptoms, but they're not curative. So you'll have to be taking them around the clock. And you can also do your humidified mists just to help the airway quiet itself and to help with the nasal congestion. Parents that have children that are known to have allergic rhinitis, you're going to be using your inhaled steroids much more frequently as prescribed by your doctor. And again, you check to ensure they're not expired and that you have enough of the medication. So these are the over-the-counter things you could do. These are the at-home things you can do.
Okay, so you mentioned that children would, of course, need to monitor the index of the dust outside and so forth. The parents who have to send their kids to school, this is unavoidable. And the teachers, of course, that will be receiving them, you don't want to take away recess and these type of things from the students. What can they do in order to curb the exposure to children from the Sahara dust?
So they can wear their mask. If you have allergic rhinitis, so if your child has allergic rhinitis, you would want to do your puffs in the morning before going to school and then in the evening. Most times it's once or twice a day. And the same thing with asthmatics. You know that your child has been coughing overnight, you're concerned that they might be wheezing, but in the morning they're fine and you send them to school. Give them their puffs before they go, right, and monitor them closely. Also, in this day and age, you know, teachers should have a fair idea of some basic things. So children with seizures, they should know timely seizure, turn the child to the left, don't put anything in the mouth, get medical attention. And the same thing with asthmatics. They should have an idea of how to use the spacer and inhaler. It should always be packed in the bag with the child, because even though you would call the parent to pick up or you would call ambulance services, what you do in the first couple of minutes can have a very lasting effect in terms of hospital stay at admission. So starting your puffs early is also important. And of course, the parent would write a letter to the school, letting the teachers and the school know that my child has allergic rhinitis or my child has asthma. They are well today, but you know, I would like you all to know this so it can be noted on the child's records.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alfred, for being with us this morning. This information is well received, very much appreciated, I'm very sure, by all viewers and myself included. The Sahara dust has been a problem for many, and we thank you for your input in helping the public get through this time period.
Thank you so much.
For more information, of course, I do have permission to share her Instagram page. It is Dr. Renee Alfred on Instagram. More of this topic and much more on children's needs, medical wise and otherwise as well, can be found on her page. So I encourage you to visit it and, you know, scroll through and get abreast of what you can do for your children, right? So thank you so much for viewing. This was Dr. Renee Alfred, and we continue on this morning with Mr. Alpheus Paul, who has an appeal to the public. So we encourage you to stay tuned and share the live, share the live, share the live.
Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
It is a little bit too late this morning. It is 7:49 in the morning, and we welcome our newly joined viewers or those continuing with us to our Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. We are joined with Mr. Alpheus Paul, owner of Cafe Alfresco. For those of you who don't know where that cafe is, it's that beautiful cafe opposite the Lambo Bridge, Yes, with the shiny lights that you pass on a night time, more into the evening time, so into the night.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been said to be a wonderful cafe. The food is delicious, right? So here we have with us the owner of Cafe Alfresco, Mr. Alpheus Paul. He is, however, here on a different note. I mean, it is related to the cafe, but also to the oil spill that has been having a lot of effects on our shoreline, on other countries like Grenada and Bonaire, as we heard in the news, and of course our citizens who are right next to the shoreline is being affected very badly. So the oil spill and the effects that it had on your cafe, what are they like? What were your first moves at the presence of the oil spill in the first place?
Right, so first seeing the oil spill and hearing about it, it hadn't reached to us as yet, right? But as soon as we started to see the water began to change color, it was a little concern, right? It began to get darker and the stench, right? So I don't know what to do. So we had the workers on continue working as normal. The scent began to get really bad, and when the tide is high, you start to see the oil start to come upon the shore, and the workers start to complain about headaches and stomach, right? Bad feelings, right? So some of them used to like return to the kitchen and such. And when it really get bad is when the customers now start to complain, because some of the foreigners that came in, they are not aware that it had an oil spill close by. So as they began to eat, they start to complain about bad oil in the food. Yeah, bad oil. Wow. So we lost tables and had to explain to them that there's an oil spill. So from that inception, yeah.
Now your location of your cafe is directly next to the beach. I mean, you told me that was the sole purpose of what you were looking for. That is the sole purpose of where your cafe is located.
Yes.
Mainly to dine outside, to enjoy the sea breeze while eating, etc., etc.
Yes.
But because of your location, especially to the oil spill, now the environment is mucky. It's filled with the air is filled with oil.
Yes.
As well as the shoreline, so the ambience has been affected adversely.
Yes.
I don't know if any one of us have passed through town when the oil was really bad when it initially happened, but the stench of the oil itself, it was really bad. You know, even driving by, my friend, the first time we passed through, he carried up the windows. We couldn't take it. So I would imagine what you would be experiencing as an open restaurant.
Yes.
You know, at the seaside. Yes. You mentioned the environment. So tell us a little more about that. Besides the scent and how it looks, what did that do internally for your environment in the restaurant itself?
Well, it had changed the whole outlook of it. And as I said, when the tide is high, the residue of the oil reach all the way into, because we normally suffer from the sea blast. So with the sea blast, the oil mixture, it gets right inside. So it's constant cleaning, constant trying to have it, reduced to a minimum of where it is appropriate to still be open, but it have become to a point where it is not feasible.
Okay, so you are no longer open, so that is your current situation?
Yes, currently closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does this mean for your employees?
Well, the employees on the breadline, and I do have no information. I've tried to reach out. I've reached out to the head of TEMA. I've given initially that last week, Wednesday, would have been the complete cleanup. But so far is more equipment coming. So I do have no idea of when this is going to be done with. So at least I could have known, well, okay, it's 3 months. There's perishable goods at the restaurant as well. So it is no answer at all.
So what are you requesting from the government? Who is in charge of the cleanup?
Well, compensation is one of what I am looking for. The government really don't like to hear that word compensation. So they try to avoid it as much as possible. But there are not much business along that coast, right? I think Cafe Alfresco and Shortings. Yes, so we are being affected really bad. And I am right is where that the chief sec, when he had came and originally done his press conference, he'd made sure and let them know that the road would be closed off. and as well that area is the worst affected on the island. So I don't think it should be a problem of compensation because you know the restaurant cannot operate, period.
Right. So I do hope in going forward that this compensation gets to you.
Yes.
You have employees that you have to pay in the interim.
Yes.
You also would like that your restaurant gets back to its normalcy.
Yes.
It's a wonderful restaurant.
Yes.
I keep hearing about it. We should visit it, whatever the case, because the food is nice, the ambience is nice.
Yes.
And due to the oil spill, that has been interrupted. So I do hope going forward that your request is granted and that you can indeed be compensated for the damages and the effects that you are having from the oil spill. So thank you, Mr. Alpheus Paul,
Yes, you are welcome.
for being
Thanks
with us
for
this
having us.
morning.
Yes.
All right. We continue on with our morning show. We encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
At JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs. Carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. Never ever worry if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Hey, hello guys, welcome. Come have a seat.
Oh, this is so stylish and I love the fabric. Darlings, you must tell us where you got your new furnishings.
We got them locally at Standard. They've got new chic European furniture, crafted from high quality material.
Oh, Standard?
No, it's Standard, their brand new Hive collection.
Experience luxurious European furniture at a price you will love. The Hive Collection. Now exclusively available at Standard.
Inner Health, number 13B Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
The layout of the house is like 2 bedrooms, a toilet, the room, kitchen. The size is like 11 by 10. Bathroom like normal concept. Have a living room, full dining room here. I say completion of this building, so it will be about 2 weeks time max. We're doing a cladding on the outside. The inside is a fire rating board, gypsum ceiling, right? And well, normal tiles and stuff on the ground.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. The Water and Sewage Authority of Trinidad and Tobago collaborated with the Tobago House of Assembly to construct water boosters in Highland and Pine Hill, Moriah. Tobago East MP Ayana Webster-Roy expressed satisfaction at the commissioning. She emphasized the importance of the booster stations in communities, especially for women managing households and farmers. Up next, the Division of Education, Research and Technology announced that both Lambo Anglican Primary and Scarborough Secondary Schools will reopen today. This after the Environmental Management Authority, along with the Institute of Marine Affairs, conducted their air quality testing, with the focus on ensuring that the schools not only met but surpassed recommended safety standards. Utilizing automated air monitoring at Shaw Park, the O3 ozone reading for Monday was 29, indicating a safe environment for outdoor activities, surpassing average standards. And finally, the Ministry of Education and Energy Industries has completed the initial hydrographic survey of the wreckage of Cove in Tobago. Since February 7th, the overturned barge Gulf Stream has been stuck on a reef, leaking bunker fuel, polluting 15 kilometers of Tobago's coastline between Scarborough and Cano Bay. This pollution has also reached waters in Grenada and Bonaire. The survey collected data to create a three-dimensional map and identify hazards to determine a way forward in moving the wreck. Additionally, the deployment of NOFI current buster technology, a high-speed containment system, is set to begin. And that was the news in 90 seconds. And because we've got a lot coming up for you on the program today, just after this quick break.
It's a brand new morning. Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Yo everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Builders General Hardware, located right here in Storbe, Local Road, Tobago. That's correct, right here in Tobago. And we are offering you guys the best prices on all hardware material. And if you would like to get your free quotation done, all you have to do is WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will give you guys the best prices on all hardware material. That is a guarantee, as we are matching or beating any quotations.
Your destiny. The best way to predict it is to create it. Do you see yourself exploring exotic destinations or spending quality time with family? However you see yourself, create your own retirement destiny with Tata Life's Destiny Personal Savings Booster. Choose from one of 3 investment options with guaranteed minimum investment returns to secure a monthly retirement income for life, with the option to choose your retirement age. So what's your retirement destiny? Call 62TATIL or visit tatil.co.tt to learn more today. Conditions apply. Tatil Life, a member of the Ansa McCall Group.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. And viewers, it is my honor to welcome the Honorable Minister of Public Utilities, Mr. Marvin Gonzalez. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning and thank you very much. Good morning, Tobago, and it's always a pleasure to be on your program.
And of course, we also have the head of WASA for the WASA Tobago region, and that is none other than Mr. Brian Williams. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you so very much for having me. Good morning.
And well, viewers, so naturally we are going to be speaking a little bit about WASA and some other things, utilities related, because of course we're going to take full advantage of the minister being in our presence. So first, I want to get started on something that happened yesterday, and that was the launch of a booster station in Highlands as well as yes. Yes, as well as Pine Hill. Yeah. So give us an idea of what was happening there.
All right, so it's a continuation of a program that we've launched approximately 3-4 years ago, the Community Water Improvement Program, where we have targeted a number of communities across Tobago as well as in Trinidad, communities that, that we regard as unserved and underserved. And so over the last 3 years, we have commissioned about 9 projects in Tobago successfully, and as a result of that, we have seen tremendous improvements in the supply of water to many communities. Over 200,000 citizens experiencing an improvement in their supply of water, and so many of them getting water for the very first time. What we did yesterday in Highlands as well as in Pine Hill is a continuation of the rollout of our community water improvement program. We upgraded the Highlands booster station, and Mr. Williams will go into some of the technical nature of what we've done there. And so many of the surrounding communities that are fed by water from that Highlands station, they are now set to see an improvement in their supply of water. In the same way in Palatuvier, the high points of Palatuvier, their water supply, I'm told, speaking to a resident yesterday, was just 1 day a week. And that is as a result of so many people living on the higher points. The distribution system in the Water and Sewerage Authority was never designed to get the requisite pressures so that the water can reach the customers to the highest point. And as a result of that, over the years, the engineers and the operators of WASA had to do special valving operation 1 day a week to get the requisite pressures to get water to the higher points. With the construction and the installation of this new booster station, the people of Pine Hill and Palatuve, the upper parts of Palatuve, they now enjoy a level of service of getting water 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and in some instances 7 days a week from a water supply of just 1 day a week. And so we have done that in Chauvin Road, which a new booster station we constructed there to supply water to Southwest Tobago, and the hoteliers and people who own guest houses would have seen a significant improvement in the supply of water. In Hope in Tobago, the higher point of Hope, a new booster station again was constructed, and citizens who lived there for over 10 years, they would have seen a significant improvement in the supply of water. Cut Hill, just to name some of the areas, French Fort, all of these areas getting water for the very first time. I saw a gentleman yesterday, he told me some pipelines were laid down in the French Fort area for over 10 years, and water never flowed through that standpipe when it was laid down 10 years ago. When we installed and constructed that booster station last year in French Fort, for the very first time, residents on the upper parts get water. So what we've done yesterday is a continuation of the work that we've been doing over the last 4 years.
Certainly. And then another part of your visit here was supposed to be for the Bad Hill Development Program, but that, I mean, I just found out that might not be happening again today.
Yeah, so we rescheduled it for about another week or so. The engineers and the operators asked for some more time to do some final tweaks on the system. 3 wells are being drilled in the Bad Hill area. 1 well is now in production, producing an additional 300,000 gallons of water. Mr. Williams will tell you some of the areas that stand to benefit, and then not too far from now, 2 other wells will come into production, which can give a combined total of 700,000 gallons of water. The water will be fed into the Bad Hill tanks and will be distributed to parts of the island in the Colon distribution system, going all the way down to Southwest Tobago. And I'm told that areas that are normally served by the Hillsborough system, getting water maybe once, twice per week, can now see a significant improvement in the supply of water with this additional water coming from the system. So hopefully the commissioning for that project will be next week or the week after, once the engineers and the operators indicate to us that all of the tweaks are finalized and they are now ready to commission this new system.
Now, you mentioned in your explanation there that Southwest Tobago, there's been a lot of work being done to supplement the water for Southwest Tobago, but we still have some issues, you know, with the supply, because it is not every day, and especially with our tourism industry and a lot of our guest houses and so on are based in that area. You know, what can we expect in the short term?
Well, the wells that we just spoke about will a significant portion of the water will be dedicated to Southwest Tobago. We also constructed, you would recall, last year we commissioned a new pipeline, a 16-inch pipeline, 7.1 kilometer, that was constructed to from Signal Hill, Tobago, to Southwest, the endpoints of Crown Point. And the purpose of that pipeline is to be able to move water from different zones, the Signal Hill zone, to get water, especially in the height of the dry season when you have tremendous demands on the system. You can get water from the Signal Hill system to supplement water from the Colon system, so that our guest houses, our hoteliers, etc., can continue to have a reliable supply of water. Now, I can tell you, Mr. Williams can support that as well, that in the past, around this point in time, we have over 60 requests for water trucks in Southwest Tobago, where water trucks literally had to provide water to some of the communities and some of the guest houses there. That no longer is the case. It has fallen to under 10 on a daily basis, and oftentimes it is because of high consumption on a particular property. The guest house owner may require an additional truck borne to supplement what is being provided. So I am told that based on the work that we have done, the area is supply. The supply has improved significantly, but remember, That area is supplied from the Colon water treatment plant, which is the Colon River. At this point in time, given the harsh heat that we are experiencing, the Colon River is already falling in production. So WASA does not have the requisite amount of water that it will normally provide to people in that community. Luckily, in the next 2 weeks' time, the new wells will supplement the shortfall. So we are looking and we are trending positively. But I'll take this opportunity to inform the residents of Tobago, especially in those areas, that we need to practice conservation, because the seasonal changes, will impact the authority's ability to provide water. So the Water and Sewage Authority, funded by the government of Trinidad and Tobago, will continue to do what it has to do in terms of the upgrading of the infrastructure, getting new water, replacing aging infrastructure, deploying technology, new booster stations. But as citizens, it is incumbent upon ourselves to understand the importance of conservation, especially during the dry season.
Now, I do know that probably about 20, 25 years ago, there was a study done in Tobago where a lot of wells were discovered. I think the figure was about 150 different wells, and this was under Mr. Hocho Charles' administration. Now, are we trying to utilize more of that information so that we can maybe rotate some of the wells that we use to ensure that there is a steady supply of water around Tobago?
We continue to look at studies and the data and the science as to where water is located in our aquifers around the island. When Minister Penny Beckles was Minister of Public Utilities, I think she initiated a very successful well development program that was funded by the central government. A number of wells came into operation during that time. And as I can tell you, the data showed that the success of that program was very, very impactful, because a number of communities got water for the very first time. And even today, 20 years after, many communities continue to benefit from water from those wells that were drilled 20 years ago. So we continue to look at our data to identify other areas that we can drill for wells. Very soon, we will be turning the sod for the construction of a new water treatment plant in Goldsboro, and that program is funded by the Inter-American Development Bank for Water Sector Transformation for Trinidad and Tobago, and that will increase water production on the island by 2 million gallons of water per day. Yesterday we visited the Charlottesville area, and we have identified a site for another water treatment plant to provide water to some parts of Charlottesville, especially the upper parts and the hilly parts not getting a reliable supply of water. And based on what we have seen, it looked as though it is a very feasible site that can produce over 250,000 gallons of water for the people of Charlottesville. So we are very excited as to what we are seeing, but we are also very concerned that so many of those rivers, those prolific rivers that would have a steady flow even during the dry season, those rivers are almost dried up at this point in time. There are parts of Castara and Charlottesville that is absolutely dry, something that we would not have seen over the last years. So it sends a very powerful signal that climate change is real, and the impact that we are seeing already on the availability of water from our natural streams and our underground aquifers. Conservation is something that we need to practice, and therefore, as we continue to roll out projects and programs to improve the supply of water successfully, especially in Tobago, we also have to support it by a very robust non-revenue water program where we meter our customers, we meter all our water production facilities, and that citizens can now practice in a holistic manner the issue of conservation. It has already started. A lot of our water production facilities are being metered at this point in time. Under the IDB program, we have our bulk metering program, where most of our transmission system, we're going to install meters so that we can measure flows coming from our water production facilities, flows on our transmission system. We are establishing DMAs, district metered areas, where we are measuring water going into the various communities. And once we have completed that, which is ongoing at this point in time, then we're going to see metering taking place at the domestic customer level.
And then what about the concern of leakings, the leaking pipes and so on? Because I know, we touch on the aging infrastructure that WASA has and how that contributes to a lot of water being wasted. So it's not necessarily that people are not utilizing water in a conservative way. A lot of it is being wasted by WASA itself.
A lot of it is being wasted not only by the authority, but by customers at various levels. But we're going to talk about that in a short while. But again, CWIP has, the success of the program is that we were able to replace a number of aging pipelines across the country. And those pipelines have been identified and they are being consistently changed over by the installation of new pipelines. So what the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as Mr. Williams will oftentimes say. 4 years ago, the backlog of leaks in the authority was 5,000. Mr. Williams can tell you. It was way out of control. 5,000 leaks in our backlog. It is under 500 now. So therefore, the authority has done tremendous work in eradicating the backlog of leaks. And we are now seeing a dramatic reduction in the daily reports of leaks because of the consistent change out of our aging infrastructure. The high leakage pipelines, all of them are being changed over on a consistent basis. And we are already seeing a reduction of leaks being reported on a daily basis. In Tobago, Brian will tell you that we had over 300 leaks in the backlog. I spoke to him yesterday, somewhere in the region of 45. I expect that to be completely eradicated in the next month or less than a month. So WASA is doing its part. Of course, there's always room for improvement, but WASA is doing its part in terms of reducing its NRW, its leaks on the system. It's under 500 now nationally, the first time ever in the history of WASA, and we continue to change over our aging infrastructure so that we can have less incidents of leaks on our distribution network.
But also, why that is going on, while there is attempt to repair the aging infrastructure, there's roads that become a challenge and continues to be a major challenge, especially here in Tobago. So many of our roads that are in bad conditions are as a result of WASA.
And Mr. Williams could tell you just yesterday evening, having driven around Palatouvier and Moriah and Charlottesville, I complained to him that one of the things that stood out was the state of the roads, which was quite evident to me, is as a result of repairs to leaks by the Water and Sewage Authority. So we had a long meeting yesterday, and we undertake to provide the necessary financial resources to WASA within the shortest time possible so that they can get some of its external contractors to come in and to do road restoration across the island. So you're going to see some improvements where that is concerned. So personally, I must admit publicly that I was not happy when I saw the conditions of the roads, and I spoke to Mr. Williams, and we will provide the necessary resources so that that can be dealt with.
Now, there is supposed to be an MOU between WASA and the THA to have those roads fixed. But from my information, and maybe you could clarify, from my information, there seems to be a reluctance from WASA to do a re-signing of that MOU to make sure that we can really get our roads under a better state.
Can I ask Mr. Williams to come in there? I'm not too... I'm not aware, of the facts surrounding that MOU between WASA and the THA. But if I just were to go on what I have observed, then clearly the arrangement between WASA and the THA is certainly not working because our roads are in a terrible state.
So, Mr. Williams, could you just provide some clarification?
A couple of years ago, when MOU existed, where WASA would provide funding to the THA for the procurement of the resources, the materials, and the equipment to get the work done. And the THA would utilize them on a drawdown basis. And they would provide the expertise to get the jobs done. That arrangement a couple of years ago ended, and we have been in the past attempting to get it to a place where it can be restarted. All right. One of the first interventions with the new THA that we had was centered around the revitalization and revamping of that MOU. The MOU has not been revitalized, notwithstanding in the interim, the WASA has engaged local road paving contractors And while the terms of the TOR, the terms of reference of the MOA are being finalized, a local contracting group has been brought on board to speak to the concerns that are real, that have been raised by both you and the minister and by the wider Tobago public, right? Because it is a real concern, and we have a duty to ensure that we deal with it as professionally and as comprehensively and as sustainably as possible. So yes, there was an MOU. It has lapsed, the period ended, and a new one has not been finalized as yet. Notwithstanding, in terms of road restoration, private contractors have been engaged, and this is not to say that the MOU will not be followed up, the discussions will not continue, but because based on the amount of work that is to be done, there is room for the THA to be doing what they have to do, and for in the interest of ensuring that our corporate image and our image as Tobago, Trinidad, and the good roads is upheld and moved in the right direction.
Can we change what we do with our road infrastructure and the relationship with the road infrastructure and WASA to prevent the need to keep taking up the roads?
Well, you see, that is a very expensive undertaking. I think you're referring to need for us to have utility corridors where our utility infrastructure, be it TNTEC, TSTT, and WASA, is placed in a specific corridor at the side of the road so that whenever you have to undertake repairs, you don't have to, there's no need to interfere with our road surface. For new developments, I can tell you, there is a need. You actually see developers installing a utility corridor to place our utility infrastructure and not have that place on our roadway that can cause disruption when there is a need to undertake repairs. The new highways that are being constructed, utility corridors are also being established so that we don't repeat the mistake of the past where utility lines are placed in our roadways. But to do a complete changeover all over Trinidad and Tobago, you are talking about a multi-billion-dollar initiative.
Certainly, and not something that we can handle right now.
At this point in time.
But what about in terms of the relationship with the THA? Because we noticed that there were no THA officials there yesterday at the commissioning ceremony and that sort of thing. And then we're hearing that, the MOU continues to not be signed with the THA and that sort of thing. So what has been that relationship like? This is your second year in office as well. Right. Right. For public utilities, what is that relationship like? Have you been trying to work on that relationship?
No. I always maintain a very good relationship with the THA. Once they reach out to me, I respond. Unfortunately, there was a misunderstanding. The last time I came here, when we commissioned the Hillsborough Dam, and an invitation was extended to my counterpart, the Secretary for Utilities, and he did not see some of the follow-up correspondences when the event had to be rescheduled, and I guess he did not check his emails and what have you. And that was just unfortunate, and just water under the bridge, and I don't really bring that within my ethos in the way that I discharge my public duties. I have a very warm relationship as well with the THA Chief Sec. As a matter of fact, on the way to Tobago on Monday night, I think it was, I did message him and let him know that I am on the island, and I told him when I'm going to be leaving and what I'm here for. So the relationship is quite a very solid and very professional one. The event yesterday, those are projects that have been funded under the Public Sector Investment Program through allocations made to the Ministry of Public Utilities. And those projects have not been funded by the THA. So the Ministry of Public Utilities reached out to the MPs for the both areas, being as they are my parliamentary colleagues as well as my cabinet colleagues. So there was no need really. It was not a collaboration between central government and the THA. So my office reached out to the MPs, and that was that. They they extended the invitation to some of their constituents, etc. With respect to the Goldsboro water treatment plant, I can tell you, I had fruitful discussions with the THA, the Chief Sec and his secretaries, and we are collaborating nicely on that. The land where we identified to construct the Goldsboro water treatment plant is lands owned by the THA, and they have been quite gracious to the Ministry of Public Utilities and the government in providing that land. And because of their graciousness, we are now able to meet the conditionalities for that loan disbursements and the procurement requirements to begin the procurement for the construction of that water treatment plant. So
how much will that cost?
The estimate for it, we are still in tender. I don't want to call a price because we are at a very sensitive stage at the tender. But I can tell you it will cost somewhere above $50 million, TT.
And is that part of the PSIP plan?
Of course, it's the PSIP funded by the Inter-American Development Bank, and we have identified a number of projects in Tobago and in Trinidad where we intend to construct water treatment plants, upgrade our water infrastructure, drill for wells, etc. So all of these things are funded under the public sector investment program through allocations made to the Ministry of Public Utilities.
And I know Goldsboro especially is a very crucial area in Tobago because it's part of our farming community and so on. So is this, our farmers are going to benefit?
They tend to benefit, they stand to benefit tremendously from this project. This plant is going to be producing next to almost 2 million gallons of water. A number of our farming communities are we're going to be located close to that plant, or the plant is going to be located close to those farming communities. And I can assure all our farmers in that Goldsboro area that the Water and Sewerage Authority is going to ensure, the government is going to ensure that they are provided with a reliable supply of water so that they can undertake their farming activities. So, and it's one of the things that the THA and the Chief Sec would have identified in our initial discussion on this program, that our farmers will tend to benefit tremendously from this investment by the government.
All right. Well, I mean, we're out of time, but I just want to sneak one more question in. I know they're in my ears telling me that we have to wrap up. And I kind of just want to get to, we have a situation where, especially with our data, and I'm switching away from WASA for a bit, right? And we have to really deal with this situation because every time a tree falls down, we lose data in Tobago. Why is that? And why does that have to keep continuing in 2024?
Okay, thanks for that question. So there's a subsea cable that connects, Tobago and Trinidad, and which is through the Tobago region because it's the closest point between the island of Trinidad and Tobago. And, and as a result of that, from time to time, you're going to have disruptions to the terrestrial areas leading to Tobago. And they are natural disruptions that will occur from time to time. And because of that singular connectivity between Tobago and Trinidad through that Tobago subsea fiber cable, you tend to have that level of disruptions taking place from time to time. What TSCT has done to add robustness to this, we intend to construct a new subsea fiber cable so that in the event one cable is disrupted by natural disruption, you're going to have that further redundancy. So they are already identifying 2 points where we'll continue to have a subsea fiber connectivity on the island that is going to increase speed and reduce the level of disruption that is going to happen. And in a month's time, the management of TSTT is going to be in Tobago, engaging with our commercial and our domestic customers on a plan to expand our data footprint throughout the island of Tobago. So a lot of things are being planned. TSTT is now profitable. It has been struggling for the last 3 or 4 years because it has not been a profitable entity. It has not been able to invest sufficiently in its capital infrastructure, and now it has been set on a path of profitability. The company can now invest in expanding its infrastructure, and that's the reason why they are looking at other options to lay down new fiber optic cable line connectivity, as well as what we call a wireless microwave technology. They're going to so that we will not be relying on this singular subsea cable, fiber cable for connectivity. So a lot is being planned at this point in time, and the people of Tobago will see an improvement in their reliability and the expansion of data on the island.
And maybe we can look at trimming those trees that are in that way of, causing problems until we can get those other mechanisms up in place.
And that is already happening. And so TSTT and TNTEC, they're both working on dealing with some of the issues that cause these disruptions so that we can minimize the impact of the disruptions that we're having.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much, Minister, for being on with us. It was such a pleasure. And definitely we know we have quite a lot of issues here in Tobago that I did not really get into. I did not get into all of them. But
I'm sure you can also agree that especially in the water sector, Tobago has seen tremendous improvement. I can tell you that based on the success of the work that we have done, that over 91% of the people of Tobago now enjoy an improved level of service.
All right, and we're looking forward to even more improvement and certainly our roads. And we're going to be holding that to you, Mr. Williams. We want our roads fixed, and we don't want this to be a problem that continues to plague us. So I want to thank you both for being on with us. And viewers are going to go for a quick break, and we'll be right back.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are switching gears now to that of crime. Of course, it continues to be something that weighs heavy on the minds of all of our citizens. And one group of people is doing something to perhaps, figure out a way forward in terms of how do we treat with crime. And I'm talking about the People's Roundtable on Tobago's Crime Search. So to speak about this, I am being joined by Mr. David Abdullah, who is part of this movement. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, Ms. Jackson. Thank you for having me, and good morning, Tobago, and good morning, Tobago.
Certainly. First of all, tell me about the People's Roundtable on TNT's Crime Search.
Right. So last year, sometime around May, we began discussions with a number of civil society organizations to start a conversation about issues affecting people in Trinidad and Tobago. And coming out of those conversations, there was an agreement to form what we are now calling the People's Roundtable. And we then decided in November. We made an announcement in late November that the first public activity that we would have is what we call the Civil Society Crime Summit. Initially, it was scheduled for the 9th of January, but we had to push that back because that was actually the date of the state funeral for former Prime Minister Mr. Masdio Pandey. So this Civil Society Crime Summit was held on the 31st of January, and we had just over 100 people from about 30 organizations taking part. And it was a very participatory process because this is not a political platform and, statements that will get sound bites and headlines that look popular and are vote catching. This is really about a serious conversation amongst civil society organizations. And so, apart from having some major presentations, the lead one of which was done by Professor Rhoda Reddock, and we had people like Miss Michelle Solomon Bach, who is the Deputy Director of the Police Complaints Authority, Mr. Wayne Haid, Calypsonian and a former UN head of discipline, and others, Pastor Clive Dottin, Mr. Issa Mohammed from Project 600, Miss Marva Logan, who runs of NGO in Enterprise. So we had a variety of persons presenting, and then from there we went into simultaneous roundtables or working groups, if you wish, each of which was looking at a specific topic. Education was one, gender-based violence another one, family life a third one, corruption and white-collar crime, the issue of rebuilding communities, how crime impacts on businesses and investment, including the agricultural sector and farmers. So we had 9 of these working groups, and the working groups then produced reports. All of this took place on the morning into the early afternoon of the 31st, and we are now summarizing those reports into this final document, but the outcomes of our activity, which we are then going to take back into communities to get their inputs, because what was said on the 31st may not be gospel. People may disagree. Some may agree. What people want to add to it so that it becomes really a grassroots document addressing not only analysis of the problems, but really what has to be done and by whom.
Now, let's help to put this into context a little bit. Is this to create a legislation? Or is it to enhance existing legislation? What is the goal at the end of it?
Well, several things. I mean, coming out of the reports, there are recommendations that go to the issue of reforming our education system, for example, because the education system is not doing well in terms of our young people. 40-50% of our young people don't pass SCA, don't then pass or get 5 subjects at CSEC. So there's something that has to be dealt with in education. And that's not necessarily legislative, that is policy. And on the other hand, there are recommendations to have constitutional reform and other legislative changes to how the criminal justice system works. Some are administrative in terms of how the police service functions or how the prison service functions. So there are different things that can be done. Some have to be economic and financial in terms of resources into communities, involving society generally in terms of having people engaged in mentoring young people. And so there's a variety of actions that have to be taken coming out of the discussions that we had in the Civil Society Crime Summit.
Do you feel confident that it will make a difference?
I feel confident that we can build popular support around the ideas and proposals that came out of this discussion. Some of them are not new. And one of the things that was identified was that, there have been studies done, committees set up by successive governments over 20, 30 years, dealing with some of the root causes of our problems. And nothing has been done to implement some of those things. So an entire generation has come, and therefore we are reaping the whirlwind of inaction and over the years. And that was one of the things that emerged from the Crime Summit. So what we really need to do, given our system of governance where those who have economic power, political power, really don't act unless they're forced to act, that building a grassroots movement, because the slogan of the People's Roundtable is building power from the grassroots. So if we can do that and build enough citizen involvement and action, that could could push the decision makers in the right direction. I'm hopeful that we could build that kind of momentum. Of course, with the support of the media, as you're doing this morning, which we appreciate.
Certainly. Now, one of the things that you mentioned is the issue that we've had historically of implementation. Is this process coming up with ideas that we could enhance or make implementation of existing laws and policies even stronger?
Well, part of the issue of implementation, I would say there are two aspects, the failure to implement. One is, well, three. One is a culture in our society where we are good at talking and not necessarily good at getting things done. So that's a problem. So that culture has to change. There's a second aspect, which is the absence of political will. And that could only be changed by pressure from below to force those who sit down and basically make decisions at the speed of molasses flowing. In other words, slow or not at all. And the third aspect of it is ultimately getting constitutional reform to ensure that decision makers are accountable and that they do the things that are supposed to be done in the interest of the people. Now, the constitutional reform part, there is a constitution reform committee, and we will see what comes out of that. I am not that hopeful that we're going to get significant constitutional reform in the short term, but at least it's back on the agenda. It's back on the stove, if you wish, of issues, as is Tobago autonomy. Where that goes, of course, I don't know either, but at least it's back on the table, back on the agenda. The issue of, therefore, getting implementation, I think the key to that is for civil society, citizens' involvement, pushing those who are in positions of decision-making, of authority or power or office to do what is necessary in a timely and quick manner.
How is Tobago being involved in these discussions as well?
Key question. So when we started, we did reach out to Tobago CivilNet. And so at our first press conference in October, when we announced, October 24th, when we announced the establishment of the People's Roundtable, Tobago CivilNet was a participating member. Subsequent to that, however, Tobago CivilNet felt, and we respect that totally, the Tobago CivilNet felt that they needed to focus on Tobago and the work that they're doing in Tobago, which is similar to the work of the Roundtable of bringing civil society organizations and people together in Tobago to address issues particular to the people in Tobago, to Tobagonians. And therefore they felt they could not stretch themselves or overstretch themselves by being involved in the People's Roundtable and doing the work of Tobago CivilNet. So we continue to maintain relationship of mutual collaboration and sharing information and so on. But Tobago CivilNet is not now a participating member in the People's Roundtable, and therefore when we first made our announcement in November that we would have this crime summit, in fact the name crime summit came out of a proposal from Tobago. That name came there, so Tobago had ownership of that name in that sense. But we initially said we we're going to have two civil society crime summits, one in Trinidad and then one in Tobago. But the Tobago one obviously is not going to happen. Tobago CivilNet and others in Tobago, people in Tobago will organize their own process discussing crime and violence in Tobago and involving stakeholders in Tobago. But we share information and we therefore will collaborate and work together.
And how is the Tobago situation being treated? Because, of course, we know the crime in Tobago is a little bit different from crime in Trinidad. I mean, there's cultural differences and that sort of thing. So is this being considered as you are looking at a plan of action for the country as a whole?
Well, there's certain things that obviously, in terms of the recommendations, would be generic to the whole country. If, for example, you're dealing with white-collar crime and corruption, then legislation or actions to deal with that, you can't be island-specific. That has to be generic in terms of either legislation. For example, the Financial Intelligence Unit is a unit of the Ministry of Finance. The recommendation may very well be that it should be a standalone unit with investigative powers, so it doesn't only collect information about suspicious transactions totaling billions of dollars a year, but can investigate that and get evidence to the point of prosecution. That would be something that would be beneficial to everybody. The issue of how do we go about reforming the education system, certainly the children in Tobago are also having difficulties with respect to our education system, and because a lot of the young people and children who do not necessarily do well coming out of SEA and so on are also from Tobago. So there are some issues that would be across the board. If we're talking about community revitalization and working communities, then that might be more specific in many cases to the urban communities in Trinidad, more so than Tobago, given that Tobago is a different community where people know one another and so on and so on, and there are many family connections, which is very different, both in terms of culture and history and sociology and everything else, to that of, say, urban Trinidad. So yes, our recommendations will be general, but we're going to share this with our friends in Tobago, and they can make use of it as they see fit and add to it if they wish, and that would be great.
People follow the process?
Sorry, just say that.
How can people follow up on the progress of the document?
Right. So, yes. We do have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, and we will be posting up the documentation there. We may have to create a website because, trust me, the documentation is huge. This is just one snapshot of part of one of the working group's reports, and we're going to do that as a matrix. So it's going to be difficult to put that up on Facebook. So we may have to create a website where the documentation is more easily accessible. But there is an email that people could contact us on, and that's peoplesroundtable.tt@gmail.com. And we do have as well a phone number, if I could just locate it in a moment, which I don't remember off the top of my head. So I'm going to have to locate that phone number in a little while and give it to you. But the People's Roundtable, right, phone number is 491-4359. That's also WhatsApp and phone. And we did put up on the YouTube the recorded presentations of the first part of our Civil Society Crime Summit, and so that is also available on the People's Roundtable YouTube channel. So which you probably, if you Google it, you should be able to locate it.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Abdullah. And viewers, of course, you can follow up on this process as well and see how you can be part of the change that we so desperately need here in Trinidad and Tobago. So thank you, Mr. Abdullah.
Thank you for having me, and look forward to another conversation when we issue the final report.
Certainly. Definitely looking forward to that. All right, viewers, well, you got to go for a quick break, but we'll be right back right after this.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the sky.
Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs. Carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, now we are switching gears to the UN Women Commission on the Status of Women conference that's going to be coming up a little later on in March. And to speak to us a little bit about that, we are being joined by the political leader of Unity of the People, Nkosi Philip. And a special good morning and welcome to you, Nkosi. How are you doing? We heard that you did not have a good few weeks.
Yes, I'm good now. In God's grace, I'm thankful for life, and I'm just getting better day by day, and it's a process of healing, and I'm getting there with a slow journey, but it's going good for now.
And we're certainly happy that you could still be around.
Yeah.
But let us talk a little bit about this Commission of the Status of Women that's going to be held by the UN from March 11th to the 22nd.
Right, so this is a conference I'm continuously going year after year. But this year is going to be different because I'm leading a delegation of 10 to 17 persons to the UN. The reason being that when I was there, it's been too much meetings for me to attend. Sometimes it's 13 meetings per day. And to go from different country to different country in the different meetings. So the delegation is comprised of different NGOs. We have persons from the police service, or from cybercrime. We have from gender affairs. We have also persons from the Ministry of Education in Trinidad. We have the different groups from different persons. So it's going to comprise of 10 to 17 persons, and I'm going to be leading that delegation to the UN. They will be attending the parallel events. The parallel events are events that are more closer to the NGO-based organization, to the countries that do cyberbullying crimes. We get to one-on-one with ministers, with the persons from foreign countries who are leading some of these initiatives and programs that gear towards protection of women and young girls, and also gender equality on a whole.
All right. So now give us an idea of just the theme of this year's conference.
Oh, the theme. You know, honestly, I got that email, but I really forget the theme. Honestly, I really apologize. My brain is not shifting right now.
All right.
But I think you're supposed to have it.
Yes, so it's accelerating the achievement of gender equality and the empowerment of all women and strengthening institutions and financing with a gender perspective. Unpack that for me.
Right. I think it's an update of where women are now in society, how we have placed ourselves way back then to now, and seeing if there is a climatic change on how women are now viewed and young girls are viewed in the political space, especially in the social space in terms of managerial positions or presidential positions. As we've seen our second prime minister or president being the female president of Trinidad and Tobago, but you see sometimes they're still under pressure, especially as opposition. There's still constant attack on women in leadership position, as much as not the male counterpart in leadership position. I think it's going to be really good this year. We are also partnering with South Africa in the Pink Africa Foundation, which we have been partnering for years. I will be doing a presentation on how some of the topics will be crime against women and young girls in Trinidad and Tobago, our social programs and initiatives like what the Division of Education, the Division of Health, and also the Ministry of Social Development. I'm pooling some of the projects that they're doing to labelize some of those inside of the conference. So I'll be doing a presentation on that as well. So it's going to be compact this year. It's going to be full. It's going to be exciting. And I'm glad that I have a delegation. So at least when I come back, I can be able to spread now the projects, spread now the word on how women and young girls are viewed internationally and how we can do more in Trinidad and Tobago space to protect them as much as possible, because I'll have a delegation of different sectors and they will be able to filter those sectors into their job site, into their communities around Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm glad we have one person from Lavantil actually on the committee in the delegation, and I'm really glad that it was stretched so far across Trinidad and Tobago. And also, it is not political. I'm leading the charge as ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago Youth Will Rise, our NGO-based organization.
Okay. Right? And when we come back from this trip, what are some of the things that you're hoping to change or inspire within our space, especially where gender is concerned?
Well, we're based on the projects and the meetings meetings that we'll be attending, there's an itinerary that they give us. I got the email, but it's too open to print. We were having a problem to it, and I think they're having technical problems. Based on the itinerary and the separation of all persons attending different meetings, we're going to come back and we want to give to Trinidad and Tobago a full detail on the trip, on what we went for, what we have accomplished, and what we have achieved, and the level of partnership we hope to accomplish with the NGO base and all the other countries out there. While the delegation is attending the parallel meetings, I'll be attending the UN meetings under South Africa's Pink Africa Foundation NGO. I'm partnering with them. So what we're hoping to achieve and what we're hoping is to level out some of these projects within the workspace, within the environment of Tobago, within the space of Tobago, see how best we could work with the division especially in Tobago House of Assembly, and also the government in the different various ministries, because we would have asked some of the ministries to sponsor and to give assistance to our trip towards this trip. What we also looking at is to putting the effects and putting the whole on the government, because we know Minister Ayana Webster will be there. We know some of those ministers will be there. So what we want to do is to hold them accountable for the projects that they say that they're doing here. We want to hold them. We need to get, up to now, we haven't seen a battered home for men, a big complete structure. We haven't seen a battered home for women, a full complete structure for Trinidad and Tobago. Where is the youth rehabilitation facility in Tobago space that will accompany the crime situation that we have with our young men and stuff? We haven't seen such things. So now that I have persons coming out there with me, it wouldn't just be me alone talking and me alone saying things that are just there. I will have a team that comprising to hold them accountable and to put things in effect as much as possible. So that's what we're hoping to accomplish. We're hoping to accomplish a lot of things. We also want to partner with other NGOs, which I find Tobago NGOs are very selfish. They don't want to partner unless it's there doing something, unless they're at the top of it. And we need to put that aside, because also, beside those meetings, I am going to be doing other private meetings with different various groups, different various organizations across the U.S. The groups will comprise of also international funding. How do we get funding from the international agencies for our NGO-based organization? Plus, we're also going to have a roundtable discussion on, I would have started the thing of, it's an Inter-Caribbean NGO association, where we are putting ourselves together. It's a funding organization that we can help. For example, South Africa Pink Africa Foundation, they ask for assistance through the different Caribbean countries and the different NGOs in regards to female pads. There is no, in Africa, there is no, the government always said they don't supply female stuff for the females and stuff. So what we do is raise funds and try to send, either we send funding or we purchase the pads in bulk and from the US and ship them to them, so they can be able to teach the young girls on how to, the menstrual cycle and all these things. So it's about a partnership, and what we want to do this round is to grasp the funding part of it, grasp the partnership part of it, and wanting to rebuild and to recite Trinidad and Tobago in that aspect, because the social part of Tobago is really dying, especially Trinidad.
All right, and then this is happening from what are the dates again?
The 9th of, from the 11th to the 22nd, but we are leaving on the 9th to get preparation to the 24th, right? So we come back before.
And this is happening where?
At the United Nations in New York City. Right, the headquarters in New York, and some of the parallel events will be different areas of the UN headquarters around the New York area. So, we have a raffle that we're supposed to be drawing a raffle tomorrow. Since last year, we sent a raffle to get approved, and it's only yesterday they called us to get it approved, but we have to push the date until next week. So we have a raffle to raise funds. It will be drawn on the 7th of March, which is next week. So we're asking you all to support the raffle. We have a barbecue even next week again, Friday, and during the week again before the trip, we have a barbecue that is to help us with our accommodation or whatever expenses that we have. And we want to keep abreast. What we did, we took a media house first person on the trip, so they will be able to keep Trinidad and Tobago abreast with what we're doing, and make sure we also linked with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs so that they have a list of the persons going, and in case of anything happen, we try to do things differently this time. So, we were asking for the support. When you see the raffle, please support the raffle. The raffle has a ticket. It's just $5 per stop. There's prizes from first to second to third, and we also have special prizes for the most raffles sold and stuff. So we just want to thank Trinidad and Tobago for the support so far.
All right. Well, and thank you so much, Nkosi Phillips, for being on with us and for sharing it with us, that goal. And we're certainly looking forward when you come back to seeing what can be done, because, of course, we have a lot of issues when it comes to, gender equality and so on within Trinidad and Tobago. So we're looking forward to see what comes out of this.
Yes, of course. Not a problem. And one thing again, I just want to say publicly, I want to thank Council and Assemblyman Tasha Boris, because yesterday, I was really down, because since I've been so stressed with this accident, and yesterday I was getting ready, and she took time off from her work just to come and bring me a recovery basket and to see how I was going, and I felt really good, and I had to thank her publicly because that was so amazing, and I felt so good. So I just want to say thank you to Mr. Boris and her mom for that support, and to getting better and recovering. So thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Nkosi. And viewers, well, that's how we're going to have to wrap the show this morning. I want to thank you so much for being on with us, and hope you have a safe and wonderful day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.
Good morning, Tobago.